Well, the refuge is about 66,000 acres. It's located to the north of Charleston. It's a barrier island refuge and an estuarine refuge, so it's only accessible by boat. The refuge is very important for a number of species, sea turtles specifically, and it was founded for migratory birds. So it's very important for shorebirds and seabirds. So the barrier islands of the refuge support a lot of species, and we manage to protect those species and keep them going. Well, we're seeing a tremendous loss of habitat. Climate change is one of the biggest factors in that. There are other man-made factors, such as the Santee River Dam that was put in 45. But since that time, the barrier islands have lost a lot of habitat. We've lost over 2,000 acres of front beach habitat on Cape Romain. This is impacting our nesting birds. The seabirds and the shorebirds nest right on the ground. Overwash of these nests and loss of habitat is causing failure, repeated failure of these birds. Our nest, our sea turtle nest, we have to move so they don't wash away. Well, we're working right now with USGS, U.S. Geological Survey. We're doing a study. We're looking at the footprint of Cape Romain in the past, what it is now, and what it's projected to be in the future with climate change. And we're working with the stakeholders in the area to see what exactly the impacts are going to be to the refuge itself and to the species and to the habitat, but we're trying to tie that into the local community as well. We're trying to help the local community understand the importance of the refuge and what the refuge provides for the people of the Charleston and surrounding areas, such as shellfish and recreational finfish and subsistence fishing and all those things that people don't really think about that's available, but it's there and it's disappearing. Clean water, the air quality, all of it is very important to humans in the community. And we really want people to understand that going forward. Well, I think I'd like people to understand just the importance that it plays in the, not only just the natural history of the area, but the economy. I think people don't understand how much we rely on that natural resource. We're looking at trying to establish migratory pathways into the future. We're trying to connect protected areas such as the Francis Marion National Forest and the Cape Romain National Wildlife Refuge. We are right next to each other, but we have Highway 17 corridor and development coming up. As this habitat's lost, we're losing not just the habitat but the species also. And we need to be able to have habitat available in the future. So we're trying to protect areas and connect protected areas into the future so species can migrate and so that those resources will be available in the future. We've seen some new species come in. Roseate spoonbill is one bird that we see quite frequently now that we hadn't seen in the past. White pelicans are another. We don't have that many, but they're present year-round. We also have invasive species, unfortunately. Phragmites is a plant that gets into the wetland areas of the refuge. It's quite common in South Carolina now. We put a lot of effort into trying to eliminate it. Chinese tallow is another plant that is competing with our maritime forest. We put a lot of effort into trying to get rid of that as well. We also have, on our refuges inland, we see that the freshwater communities are dying as the salt water is penetrating up in the Waccamaw River, up into the Edisto River. You're seeing die-off of those freshwater trees, and you're seeing that transition already start. It's very alarming. Just the loss of 2,000 acres in our refuges. Truly alarming to me. I've been there for a long time, and it's very sad. It's like losing an old friend, and that's why we really can't stop it. Unfortunately, I wish I could. I wish I could stop the erosion that's happening, but I can't. What we're trying to do is just kind of ensure there's habitat moving forward, and as that habitat's available and transitions into different types of habitat, be it salt marsh or maritime forest or bottomwood hardwood forest, the species hopefully will find that habitat and be able to utilize it. We don't know yet whether if the salt marsh will be able to keep pace with the rising sea levels, if the habitat will transition quickly enough so that species can use it. We don't know that yet. But all we can do is protect the habitat and hope that it appears as needed. We are actually working on that right now. We've had some projections, the SLAM model, sea levels affecting marsh modeling, but that was very generic. It had kind of coarse elevations throughout, so it's not as accurate as it can be. So we're working with USGS right now. We're doing that, looking at the footprint of Cape Romain, the surrounding areas, and looking at sea level rise into the future. So that's something that we'll have in the next couple of years. Well, I think the other populations, other than human populations, tie directly back to human populations. And I think that's really the message I want to get across to people, is that the health of our environment, the health of the other species that inhabit this earth, tie directly to the health of human beings. We're not outside and all by ourselves in this world. Our health depends on the health of the earth. And the health of the earth can be, it's an indicator when you see species that we have, such as seabirds or shorebirds or sea turtles, dying out, species becoming extinct. That's an indicator that we're not just hurting that species, but we're hurting ourselves in the long run.